Hello guys, hope you're well. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing a great success story with you. This success story will have it all. Here, you will see abandonment issues, father wounds, mother wounds, issues from her childhood. Then you will see a divorce, you will see a third party, you will see self-sabotaging tendencies. Then you will see manifesting her specific partner, manifesting a great relationship with her partner. From then to it turning to marriage, religious issues, everything. So this success story will have it all. So today I will do it in a different way. Today I will explain the success story to you in a different way, and I would want you guys to also tell me, like, how do you prefer it? Do you prefer that I first share the story and then share my analysis, or do you guys prefer that I share some parts of the story and then share the analysis, then share some part of the story and then share the analysis? So usually I do it with the first direction. Today I will be doing it in the second way. Do let me know which one you prefer, and I will of course cater to the video according to that. So let's get into the story. I have divided this story into three parts. The first part of the story is all about her childhood, all about my client's childhood. The second part of the story is all about how her marriage went. And then the last part of her story is how she manifested a beautiful relationship with her specific person after that. So let's go into it step by step. So my client grew up in a household where their parents, like her parents, did not have a relationship at all. It's not that they didn't have a great relationship. They did not have a relationship at all. And her relationship with her father was very distant. She, in fact, after a certain amount of time in her life, never even talked to her father. Like, for a while, there were some conversations, then it would go away, but it was very, very rare. He was very, very distant. Then, when with her mom, because of the separation, her mom also got a lot of resentment for her father. And because she could see her father in her mom also developed a lot of resentment against her, right? So since a very young age, she would see how her mom is not treating her right, and how she is constantly neglected, constantly rejected, and these were the things that she saw. Also, because of her separation, her mom had her own issues. So she got into a place where she became overly controlling, overly negative, overly critical over life as a whole. Right? She also became very aggressive. So she was verbally abusive. She used to say things to her which you wouldn't actually say to a child. Right? Now, let's pause it here and let's understand how this affects us and how this affects us as children. Right? So as a child, you first need to understand that you have a need for your physical safety and your mental safety. And your caregivers at that age are your parents. So as a child, you need to actually have blind faith and trust in them, especially at a young age when you are totally dependent for your survival on them. So when you're totally dependent on your survival for your parents and they reject you, instead of actually thinking that, you know what, maybe they are also not treating me right, or maybe there is something else that is going on, because at that time we don't have this level of emotional intelligence. At that time we do not have this level of understanding. What we do is we try to personalize it. We try to put ourselves down. We try to tell ourselves that there must be something wrong with me. There must be some issue with me. That is why my parents are treating me this way. Because if my parents are treating me in this manner, I must have done something, because I must have created a circumstance for them to treat me this way. Because this doesn't happen with my friends, this doesn't happen with people around me, it only happens to me. So I must be the bad child, right? Now, when you are at this situation in your life, you develop a lot of self-worth issues. So you start questioning things that you do. You feel that your feelings are not that valid, because whenever you have expressed your feelings, they haven't been heard or understood. Then when you see that your parents are already in a fight or flight mode, they're constantly back and forth with each other, they cannot even sit in the same room together, you see that there is a lot of resentment, right? So you don't try to tell what you are feeling, what maybe a girl is bullying you in school, or maybe how you need help with your studies, because at that time a part of my mind will start to feel that, you know, there are bigger issues going on here, and when there are bigger issues going on, I would feel that my needs are not that important. Another thing that happens, and this is something I will explain it to you with the help of an example, because the other day I was talking to one of my friends, right? And he comes from a very, very rich upbringing. He comes from a very rich upbringing. And he told me the other day, he said, like when I was young, I went to this one friend's house, and when I went to his house, I was so surprised that they don't have a jacuzzi in their house, because I have had it since I have been young. So I thought everyone does, right? Now, this is something that is very important to understand, because at a young age, when we don't know that different situations are different and people can have different circumstances, we start thinking this is how it is for everyone. So we start thinking that all people struggle in relationships. We start thinking that all relationships are this way, right? So here, what she learned and what she understood is that her feelings are not valid. She understood that maybe there is some issue with her. She developed self-worth issues. She developed issues when it comes to anxiety, feeling bad, feeling in a lack of control, trying to constantly please her parents around her, trying to mother them, constantly trying to take care of their feelings and control them, so that she can actually try to help them. This became her pattern as she was growing up. So as she was growing up, she struggled with her social life, and she also struggled with people pleasing a lot. She was constantly people pleasing, but a part of her mind also got very afraid of relationships. A part of her mind got very afraid of how relationships can be and how relationships should be, because the only relationship she had seen was something that didn't work out. And in her mind, this is how all relationships are. Just like in one of my the friend that I was talking about, in his mind, all houses had jacuzzis. So this is what she understood as she grew up. So now I will go to the next part of her story. So as she grew up, her family, they made her meet a guy, or she met a guy, and eventually there was some situation that happened and she got married. Now as she got married, at the start of the marriage was okay. Now, when we are coming from a space where the marriages that we have seen, or the relationship understanding that we have, is very very poor, let's say it's -10, for us even -5 or -2 or -3 will feel like a win, because from where we have lived to this feels amazing, right, compared to that. But this doesn't mean that it's amazing. It is just amazing compared to where we are coming from. This is what happened with her. So she got involved in this marriage with this guy, but at this time what she did not understand is that there were some traits in this marriage which were not really working out for her. She had like her partner would verbally abuse her. There was no compatibility and no understanding, right? She did not have any relationship with her in-laws. Her partner would act like they would lack physical intimacy, they would lack emotional intimacy, there were constant fighting and things like that. But at this time she thought that, at least my partner is staying, at least my partner is here, at least my partner is going to love me and going to do all these things with me. Now I will pause here and I will help you understand what happens when we are going through something like this. So when we are going through something like this, and in her case, what was also happening is, because her mind thought that, no one will ever love me, because that is what she had understood since she had been young. She had always been given this thought that she is not enough, or she's too much, or that her feelings don't matter, or if someone accepts her, that would just be a gift to her because no one should accept her. This is what she had learned since she had been young. So as she grew up, this is what she understood. And when she was in this marriage, she would rather stick to an unhealthy marriage rather than walk away, because she was afraid that no one can ever like or love me. No one can ever accept me. This is what her mindset was. Eventually, after a certain point of time, she gathered courage, because what happens is, when there is a circumstance that we need to surpass, right, it keeps on getting worse and worse and worse till we take the lesson that we need to learn from it. This is something you guys will also see in your life. When you need to put up a boundary over something, or you need to work on something, and you're not doing that, eventually it keeps on getting worse, it keeps on getting worse, it keeps on getting worse, till you finally need to take the action. And a lot of times that is good. This is also called the regional beta paradox. What this means is, a lot of times your life would be better if your circumstances were worse. What this means is, if her marriage was okay, and it wasn't how she wanted it to go, she would take a bigger time getting out of it or working on it. But if her marriage was way worse, it would actually be good for her eventually, because she would be able to get out of it faster, right? So this is the regional beta paradox, that a lot of times our life would be better if our circumstances were worse. So this is what eventually happened to her. Her circumstances kept on getting bad and bad and bad till to a point where she had to leave. So now I will tell the next part of the story. So now what happened is, eventually she left that marriage and she started working on herself a little bit. She also took therapy. She started working on her patterns and how she sees things, and just basic self-love activities. She did not have any routines, any structures, nothing. So she started, maybe going to a gym. For some people, that's a very good start. If you're someone who doesn't work out, working out will actually be a great thing for you. A great thing for you. It is one of the best self-love activities that you can do. Sleep. It is one of the best self-love activities that you can do. Eating right. It is one of the best self-love activities that you can do. Just do this. Just do this for 2 days, right? Wake up on the time that you decide, get dressed, get ready, work out, eat right, drink, let's say 4 liters of water according to your body weight. You can easily calculate how much you need on Google. You can just type your body weight and how much water you need. You will find it out. Then eat right, don't eat any fried food, don't eat any junk food, and then sleep 8 hours or 7 hours. Just do it for 2 days and see how confident you automatically feel. So we went a little sidetrack, so let's get back to the track. Let's go to the story again. So this is what she was doing, and here she started developing feelings for her best friend. They had a very beautiful dynamic. This guy understood her, he liked her, and everything was going great, but there was no commitment. Now this is where she met me. She had been in this back and forth with her best friend for a while, and this is where she met me. So let's understand what was happening here with her best friend. So what was happening is that they were in a hot and cold situation. She was constantly accepting whatever he was giving, and even though this guy was great, everything was going well, because she was constantly accepting it, she was lying to him. She was telling him that I'm okay just being in a situationship or just being friends with benefits, when she wasn't. She wasn't actually okay with that. She hated that. But because she thought that if I walk away, I will never be loved, again the same story that was coming on, she kept staying here. And this was also making this guy feel that treating her with a situationship is fine, and he was not at fault. She was also saying yes to it. She was not even saying that I want a relationship or something in that regard, right? Now this is where we started working together. So the first thing that we worked on, and the first pattern that, like, first we talked about all of the above. So everything above that I have explained to you, how she was setting low standards for men, how she was constantly having a lack of self-worth, how she was constantly accepting behavior that she shouldn't. We talked about all of that. We discussed all of that. I gave her directions for all of that, right? Because one thing I do with a lot of my clients is that I give them the whys of what they are doing. To some people it helps, to some people it's not necessary, but to some people it helps. So this is the first thing that we did. Now after this, what we did is we first created a boundary. She told this guy that, hey, I'm not okay being in a situationship anymore, and I don't think that with the feelings that I have with you, I can right now be friends. So let's just take a little bit of a distance if you're not looking for the same thing, so that we can both work on ourselves and we can be friends later. This was her genuine perspective. She created this boundary because she meant it. And it was coming from a lot of love, confidence, and respect for this person. This is where we started working on her patterns. So the first thing that we worked on was her beliefs about herself. We started adding a lot of beliefs about how she should see herself, how she should like herself. So she was doing all these things, but we also started adding techniques, affirmations, meditations. We also added a lot of inner child meditations. I have an inner child meditation that is out on YouTube. It's there available for free. If you want, you can do it. I gave her the same one, right? It's a part of my self-concept course. She also took my self-concept one-on-one course. It's a pre-recorded course with all about self-concept. So she already had this meditation. So she started working on this. We started working on her inner child issues. Now, the next thing that we needed to work on was her perceptions. Now, what are perceptions and what were they in this situation? So she told me that, Karan, every time I get a thought that, what he must be doing and everything, my first perception is constantly saying that he must be with someone else. He must be talking to another girl. He must be doing this. He must be doing that. Because her default setting was that I am rejected. So if she felt that I'm rejected, she assumed things from that capacity only all the time, right? So she was constantly feeling rejected in her life. And, she tried everything. She had many coaches before me. She was constantly given the same thing, the Neville Goddard textbook, right? That would just assume, live in the end, ignore the 3D. It is good advice on a theoretical basis and it works for so many people, but for some people who are coming from a lot of issues, who need extra support, who have patterns and issues that surpass just basic advice, they need a little bit extra help. So for them, these meditations and everything help. If you can just assume, absolutely do. That's the goal. If you cannot just assume, work on these patterns. That will help you assume better, right? Then we started working on her perceptions of relationships. What do relationships mean to her? I gave her this activity where we found out and we, got to 45, 50 points on what a healthy relationship looks like to her, what she sees men as in a healthy relationship. These are things that we started to talk about. She even started including how she sees relationships in her daily life. And as she was working on herself, this guy automatically came to her and said that, I would love to be in a committed relationship with you. I would love to be with you. I think that we are meant to be together and all these things. And then they got in a committed relationship. So this was our first win together. This came after months and months of working together. This came after a lot of self work. This came without any chasing. This came with her working on herself consistently, not judging herself when she was failing, but getting back on track regularly. Now, after this happened, she started dating this person. And she has been taking support from me for a long time. She's still working together with me because she likes having the luxury of having a coach around. It is not a need for her anymore, it's a want. And why wouldn't she want it if it gets her benefit and she can afford it? So that is like, you don't need to do the same, but many people do. It is based on what your needs are and what kind of support you're looking for. So then what happened is she started dating this person for a while, and eventually they had a conversation about where this is leading in terms of marriage. So she talked to this person that, you know what, I'm looking to be married and I want to be with you and everything. Now this is where the guy said that we are of different religions and my parents probably will bring up an issue and they probably will bring up a trouble. Now what happened is, and this is where the third party comes into the play, this guy went and had a conversation about this with his parents, and his parents told him that we have already promised someone else that you will marry her, right? Now this is where another trouble started. This is where she got into another issue with this person. This person said that I cannot marry anyone else if I am in love with another person, and I'm going to take a stand for her, I'm going to fight for her. You see the key here, she was not fighting alone in this. She was not saying, oh, I will fight for this guy when right now he isn't even texting me. They were both fighting for each other in that relationship. That is what made her push forward so much, because she knew that what I am fighting for is worth it, and I am not alone in this fight. I am being treated with respect, with love, with warmth, and everything that I deserve, and that I have now understood that I deserve. Because earlier, maybe I did not feel that I deserve it, but now I do. And in fact, her ex husband wants to be back with her. She said no clearly, right? Eventually, this guy had to go meet this girl, eventually talk to her and tell her that this will not work out. It ended. His parents agreed. His parents said that, let us at least meet with this girl. Now, how they are going to handle their religious conversations is totally up to them. If how they are going to get married, from which religion they are going to follow, in what structure they are going to follow it, whose religious beliefs will proceed forward into their children, that is the conversation in them. But eventually her parents said that no matter what she does, we love this girl and eventually we would love to have her as a part of our family. At the start, were they agreeing? No. She kept on persisting. She never actually lost focus. She told me, Karan, I know my worth to a level where if they actually say no, it is their loss. It is their loss because their son will never find a girl like me. Someone who has worked on herself so much and constantly proceeds to do so. Eventually, they have finalized a date for the wedding. I am invited. If anyone wants to go with me, absolutely reach out to me. We will create a whole group of gang and we will all go there together, crash this party, because she has invited me. She has invited my partner. I'm probably not going to be able to make it because the days are such that I won't be able to go and she lives in a different country. But yeah, but eventually they have decided a date for the marriage. Their parents have agreed. The third party is gone. Self-concept issues have been worked on. Does she still struggle with perceptions? Yes. Does she still face issues? Yes. Is it something that will ever end for the rest of her life? No. You are a human being. You will have some issues on your life. That is completely fine. She's working on these things and eventually they will get married, and I will also post the exact the pictures and everything, because the date is set. It's pretty soon. I cannot reveal it, of course, because of confidentiality reasons, but this is the success story of my client. I hope that you guys loved it. I hope that you guys understood something from it, and if you are next, comment down below, I am next. I will see you guys in the next video.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and share if you like the video. The link for my one-on-one coaching, my self-help courses, and my free newsletter are in the description box below.